Okay, so before I start this video, I am gonna say there's a trigger warning in here because I'm talking about topics that people might consider sensitive or whatever, so just be forewarned that this is a sensitive topic kind of video, okay? Okay, so I want to give kind of a little update on the corona situation that's going on here in Korea because I'm not quite sure that people are really aware of what's happening and specifically what's happening towards foreigners. So as we know, when Corona first hit, when everyone found out that the disease had originated from China, there was a really huge up spike in xenophobia towards Asian people of any culture, right? It could be Chinese, Korean, Japanese, didn't matter. Especially in the United States, there was a really huge uptick in xenophobia towards them. And so you had a lot of famous like influencers and TikTokers talking about, oh, please don't like blame us. It's no one's fault. We need you to understand, don't target us. And, a lot of people felt empathy, especially Black people. We felt a lot of empathy towards them because it's something that we've experienced for hundreds and hundreds of years, is this racism towards us. So we understood where you were coming from, and so we tried to empathize and encourage people that there's no point in placing blame. There's no one to blame. It was a freak thing that happened, and now it's something that everyone in the world is dealing with. And so that happened, and it's kind of, continued, maybe died down a bit. I'm not exactly sure how the situation is in the States, but from what I could see, it looked like it's been dying down a bit, and people are just trying to cope with the situation that we're in. And now we're kind of getting back into our regularly scheduled programming of a lot of racism towards Black people. And so not only that, but here in Korea, there's been a lot of racism recently towards foreigners like myself. And not only Black foreigners, but also foreigners from, Europe and other countries as well. And so there's a couple of different districts in Korea, so different cities that are known for different things. Gangnam is known for like high class, fancy people, like that song by Psy, Gangnam Style, that's what that came from. And then there's two, what we call clubbing districts that are Itaewon and Hongdae. Itaewon is known primarily as the foreigner district. It's where the U.S. Army base is. I think it will be closing soon, but it's where the U.S. Army base is. It's where a lot of foreigners live, a lot of people from South Africa, a lot of people from European countries. They tend to live there because it's kind of nice to be around people who are different like you. I'm not sure how it became that way, but that's how it is. And so there's also a lot of very popular clubs in that area that everyone frequents. Not only foreigners, but Koreans as well. Given this is Korea, they also go there. And so the coronavirus has been dying down a lot in Korea. It's been very well contained. They were even considering opening schools this month. But over the first week of May, there was a case, a really big spike in corona in Itaewon, where a traveler came into the country. He went to, I think, like 3 different clubs and exposed a huge number of people before he was tested and realized that he had corona. And so now the government and the club owners are trying to contact all the people to prevent the spread, but of course that's almost impossible. There's also a teenager who went to like 3 different clubs and also didn't realize they had corona and exposed many people. And so, of course, this spiked, some fear and some concern, especially in schools and things, because we were considering opening them. So, all of the schools are asking people to be tested, especially their foreigner teachers. We didn't really understand why we primarily were being asked, did you go to Itaewon? Did you go to Itaewon? So just because I'm a foreigner, I'm automatically assumed to go there? We're in the middle of a pandemic. I've been in my house. Okay, I don't go anywhere. I go with my friend, we might go to a park, we might go eat somewhere away from people, but I have not been to any clubs, not even conceivably, in the last month. Okay? Because it's all over the news now. Oh, someone went to Itaewon Club, they spread this coronavirus. Who do you think they automatically assumed was the culprit of spreading this coronavirus? Foreigners. Wow, that's crazy considering that Itaewon clubs are frequented by everyone, but because that is the foreigner district, it was assumed that the person was a foreigner. And so now places are saying, oh, no foreigners can come in. But what the news failed to mention was that both people who frequented those clubs who spread the coronavirus were Korean. Now, I'm not saying that it is Koreans' fault that this spread. I'm just saying it's completely unfair and irrational to automatically assume and blame foreigners for this sudden spike. Given the fact that in many countries around the world, Asian people of all cultures were just blamed and felt the same racism and xenophobia that we are feeling. And then rather than try to empathize and sympathize and talk to us, they automatically blame us. And that to me is absurd. I just can't understand that. And so I don't really understand. I don't understand. That's really what it comes down to, is I can't understand how people are so easily able to turn cheek when they themselves have just been suffering the same thing. This is like the case in China, where many Chinese people and companies tried to blame the African people who were living there and operating businesses there for corona. That doesn't make any sense. We all know that corona came from Wuhan, from a Chinese person. So how are you now going to suddenly start to blame Black people and foreigners for spreading this virus? That just doesn't make sense. It's possible for anyone to spread this virus. Viruses are not racist. They find a host, they latch on, and they spread. That is what viruses do. It is people who decide to take their biased and prejudiced opinions and try to find someone to blame. Here in Korea, foreigners are not dirty. We are not the cause nor the perpetuator of the virus any more so than anyone else is. And this notion that we are to blame needs to go, because it's not okay. All right? So that's kind of where Corona is in Korea right now, where there's been a recent spike that wasn't a foreigner district. People automatically assumed it was a foreigner without getting the facts. And so now many hagwons are targeting and asking their foreign teachers specifically about their personal information and where they've been, drilling them and grilling them if they've been to Itaewon or Hongdae in the last few weeks. Now, thankfully, my school has handled it pretty well. They asked everyone, they didn't ask us only specifically, so I've been told, so I have no complaint about my school whatsoever. But I'm also in several groups online where teachers have been saying that all of the teachers' names in Itaewon were released to the public of all the foreign teachers. That is completely inappropriate. The government has no right to release people's full private names to whoever so that people can find them, target them, ask them questions. One teacher has been scoped out by the parents of their students on their private social media to try and find pictures of if they were in Itaewon. That is absurd. That makes no sense. That is not your job to do. That is not your job. Now, as a teacher, I fully understand parents' concern for their child's safety. I 100% do. You don't want your child to get sick. You don't want your child to be exposed to someone who could have been in that situation. Believe me, I get it. But that does not give you the right to dive into someone else's personal life and grill them about what they've been doing. Let the government and the school handle that. That is not your job, because that could lead to a mistake. Maybe I posted a picture recently of being in Itaewon, but I could have been there 4 months ago. You don't know that. But yet you jump to an instant conclusion when you see a picture. I post pictures from 3-4 years ago because I feel like it. My friend Isis, who is in California right now, she was posting pictures about being out in Korea months ago before Corona happened, and still people comment on her pictures. Why are you out? Go inside. You should be wearing a mask. What are you doing? And she's like, this was months ago. This is before Corona was even around. But people don't take the time because they're so panicked and worried. They don't take the time to realize that. And so fingers get pointed, blame gets thrown around, and people get hurt and in trouble. So I need people to just be aware. Okay, stop trying to find someone to blame. Stop panicking. Take a moment. Try to see things from the other person's perspective and act in a rational manner. All right? I didn't get to eat because I was talking, but I hope that this shed a little bit of light and understanding. I'm not blaming anyone for this coronavirus. It is something that has happened to all of us. It's something that we all must deal with right now. And I just hope that moving forward, instead of trying to find someone to blame, we can find a way to work together to get through this and move on. That's all I'm saying. Bye.